Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we have a 1v1 on a map that we have never seen before on the channel. It is called Coast to Coast and it is by Nicuxis or Nicuxis. I don't know quite how you pronounce that. But as you can see, it's a small 12x8 map with weak tidal strength. I don't know if I'd class 16 as weak, but not as strong as the 20 wind that you can get. And as we can see here, bit of a weird kind of map. You've got a potential double mech spawn there in the water, but mostly the double mech spot there, with the rest of them being pretty spread out. And Domino already going for a bot lab here, going for res bots to eat up all the plants, and then into two construction bots. Kind of maybe would say having a little bit of ground units here to defend would be advisable, but at the same time, if you can hold the water, then why does it matter? Now, his opponent, however, User, has had to invest a lot more time into building these wind turbines because he has decided to go hover. Now, on a map like this might be a great choice. Not only does he have the ability to build the land mexes, but with the construction bot, he should be able to build the underwater mexes as well. And means he can attack both the land and the sea with the same units. And I don't think Domino is going to be prepared for this in the slightest. And this is why building a few ground units would have been advisable. Not only that, but he's actually even eating the bot lab. His plan is now probably to reinvest the metal from the bot lab straight into a naval shipyard. Which makes sense. He's going to be able to build it very quickly, but he has nothing at all to defend these expanding construction bots and any of this expansion that he's built, and it's instantly getting destroyed. I think if I remember correctly, the math was something like you need to have a metal extractor up for a single minute, I think it is, to pay itself off. And that one up there was nowhere near a minute. Also, you can see these wind turbines here built so close to each other that the explosions are causing them to chain react. And that is pretty much all of Domino's wind gone up in smoke. And all of that metal that Domino had saved up here is just been sat in his bank. Meanwhile, he has no unit production, no factory, and no ways of killing that. Let alone this guy on its way. The Possum hovercraft rocket launcher. This is going to outrange any basic land defense like a LLT, or even probably the double LLT, or in this case the Stinger, Beamer, I think it's called actually, Beamer, yeah. I was saying the Stinger. It's going to outrange the Beamer. Only the heavy laser tower, the Overwatch, will be able to hit the Possum, and that does seem like a bit of a waste. And with that early harass, User has basically completely shut down Domino in this early stage. And both players actually getting into the sea around the same time. But the difference is that, surprisingly, User has not expanded more. Even though he's had all this time, he's invested in this thing here, which is, quite expensive, as we can see. 175, that's quite a lot for early game. Domino trying to chase that down, but that hovercraft is just so quick. Commander will not be quick enough, and more windmills here just taking damage. Domino with basically no energy production at all. Had a chance there, he could have reclaimed a bit. He just needs like a few dolphins. They'll be quick enough to chase it down. These are doing a great job at microing though, targeting the windmills. This thing with only 160 health left Just completely able to outrange anything here. He is trying to build a dolphin. But if he would have built that sooner, that might have been a different case. But this guy is now just going to roam around on the land. I would say that its vision range is a bit big. Like, its vision range outranges the LLT. So it doesn't need scouting. It can just, like, roam around and see stuff before any basic defenses can shoot it. Seems a little strong. So no matter what defenses Domino builds, he's not going to be able to kill it. And the dolphin here just sat in the middle. Died for nothing. The Resbot trying to chase this thing down. It is technically faster. But still. Domino in a bit of trouble here. Factory's now going to be completely unable to build as the blueprint takes damage. It does seem very much that User is focusing heavily on keeping the energy production of Domino down. Because for such a long time, Domino has had no energy production whatsoever. I mean, the Assault Frigate into the Destroyer is the favorable trade there. Domino's really, really struggling. This guy over here, now up to 11 kills. Made that 12. As it goes into the sea, the Resbot can no longer chase. It wouldn't surprise me if it now manages to get the Resbot because the Resbot is standing still. Yep. And the only hope he had of killing it has now been destroyed. Now, for those of you that haven't really seen hovercrafts much before, hovercrafts don't get damaged by torpedoes. They're completely immune to torpedoes. So the basic defenses that you would use on sea, like these torpedo defenses, do absolutely nothing. You would need to invest into the floating heavy laser tower, which, you know, for 6,200 energy rather, is a very, very large investment. And Domino forced into building titles here because he has no build power basically left. He does have, he lost his construction turret. He's got these guys, which he's trying to move back to build those metal extractors, but Domino in dire need of a lifeline or a timeout or something like that to be able to rebuild. And the assault frigates, again, the right choice here. But as soon as these subs come out, which we can see one here, that is going to cause Domino some problems. Desperately trying to push some units out here. And he's about to lose those titles that he so desperately needed. Domino just desperately trying to micro here. Hoping to not lose the titles, but he's slowly taking damage on them. Using his commander, though, to heal up the units on the front. User is trying to do the same there with construction hovercraft, but the commander does have higher build power, meaning he's going to be able to repair more. With that sub gone. User's commander, though, is here as well. Which now means Domino does still now have more build power on the front line. And even though that early harass did a lot, when it comes to the mini-map up here, you can see that more of the metal extractors on the map are actually in Domino's possession. The issue for Domino is energy. He has no energy. And because of that, he's not able to utilize the metal he has effectively. He's trying to build wings on the bottom there and on the top of that hill, but all it takes is for that hovercraft guy to come back across, and Domino's going to be in trouble again, as there is still nothing to defend that land. And right now, it's not like his navy can do it. His navy's a bit tied up. Does kind of look like Domino might be starting to slowly win out here. He has more higher value units. Whether Domino's able to keep up the micro though of healing all the stuff. Uses destroys here looking quite a bit worse for wear. Also, these destroyers are going to be able to target the commander of either player. Torpedoes now slowly taking out the metal extractors that were in the sea. And also, that hovercraft is back. Just about to get some free windmills for lunch. As it's now also back to full health. So, Domino's about to lose all of his energy production. There was a little while ago, there was a match, I think it was PTAC versus Andy or something like that. And in it, I kind of went, why is PTAC building, or sorry, Taku building so many like grunts and stuff to defend his base when it was like a 2-island map? And this is exactly why. I didn't realize it at the time, but this is literally the reason why. So you can't just have one unit come around and spoil your day and there be nothing you can do about it. Because for Domino to fix this, he would have to build a factory on the land. And then that factory would have to build units. And right now, he needs as many and as much of his units in this ocean to stop him being pushed out to sea. He's already struggling to hold. And if he invests anything elsewhere, he's going to be forced out. He's not lost yet, but he is losing. As you can see by all the stats, but metal produced, you can see, is advantage Domino. Even build power is advantage Domino. And I would argue that it kind of does seem, at least at the moment, Domino does have better microing skills. But, you know, that doesn't mean everything. Domino able to get an assault frigate there, taking no losses. He's going to come back, try and get some repairs. If he can keep that destroyer alive, then that's going to be positive. He's actually splitting up his forces here, leaving the 2 damaged ones at home, sending these guys further out. He is losing his build power though, as that construction ship gets taken out. Domino unable to get any of the reclaim though from these fights, but not losing stuff. But then he is falling behind economy wise. So here's the thing: User used his construction hovercraft over here on the front line, right? Now, if he hadn't have done that, and he had been over here scaling up his economy, building a bunch of winds, energy converters, stuff like that, I honestly think the user would be significantly more in the lead right now. Domino's been able to do 0 harass, and meanwhile his entire base is multiple times now been destroyed by this one rocket launcher hovercraft. But both players basically have no economy. which is interesting because obviously boats are very economy intensive. They use a lot of metal, and this map has barely anything. So it kind of slows down the entire game. That destroyer is very close to dying, and so are two of Domino's. He loses one of the little baby skaters, but nothing substantial. And Domino's ship's forced off away from his factory, and the commander also not in a position to stop. And Domino, instead of defending, actually going to push into User's base. And the naval lab of Domino goes up in smoke. So does any defenses he had there. And Domino now actually walking over to User's base. And Domino actually able to destroy all of User's stuff. Are we just gonna see? Are we just gonna see like a complete base trade? The issue is that Domino has, you know, 7 units total. User has a lot more. All this stuff still being taken out by this one hover missile thing. This guy is the MVP right here. Now, at this point, these construction bots aren't really able to do anything. This possum's just going to outrange everything. So, what can you do? I mean, in theory, the pop-up Dragon's Claws might work versus this guy. He might not realize they're balls. They're not going to target it by default, so we'll actually maybe do something. But they are quite expensive, like 1,600 energy as opposed to, you know, the 680. Also, the cost, metal-wise, is a lot. And maybe this guy down here could build it, but otherwise, probably self-destructing these so your opponent can't res them. I'd also argue Domino is making a little bit of a mistake here. He's rushing a naval lab to get back building more boats. Which kind of makes sense because he knows his opponent has more navy than him, so he needs to hurry up and get more navy. But he's got this entire island to take, and rather than trying to, you know, quickly build up here, take all this island, get on the shore, build the metal extractors and stuff, he is not. Commanders are quite slow, so using a commander to try and clear this is going to not be good. Kind of needs his commander elsewhere as well. Still, Domino unable to deal with the possum. Yeah, see, I would definitely self-destruct the construction bot at least. You don't want to be giving your opponent more build power. Windmills, fine. Just leave them. They get completely destroyed anyway. But the construction bot, you don't want to leave that to your opponent. We know that he's gone bots. And he's got res bots going on. He's got res bots going on. He's going to res those constructors. And he's going to get basically some free constructors. And Domino's just giving him build power. Meanwhile, Domino is trying to build up more C, but struggling. Maybe made a little bit of a mistake here, having both of these ships assisting each other here, so they don't actually do anything. Maybe because he kind of needs to keep his economy right now. And as this kind of a bit of a stalemate, we're going to fast forward a little bit. You can see User actually just resurrecting the shipyard. Rather than building a new one, just resurrecting it. That's a very smart move. Now user's able to get back into the sea without much tension. Now, even though Domino has had this shipyard up for ages, he is still nowhere near the navy of his opponent. And user hasn't been building any ships for ages. Only just starting to get back into the ships now. His opponent has also so many destroyers. I'm surprised that we're not seeing him building just a bunch of assault frigates. There's assault frigates, you know, they're cheaper metal cost, cheaper energy cost, which is really big for him right now. And although they have shorter range, meaning you have to kind of go in, they are gonna out DPS the Corsair. Here's a prime example as to user's com is just building more wins. He's got an engineer here slowly going to expand, whereas Domino here is having to push out himself and build up. Dangerous push though from Domino here as he moves his forces into a bit of a hole here, trying to, I don't know what he's trying to accomplish, but this spot here is dangerous. At the moment, the only reason why he's able to survive right now is because he's able to kite, and that's his plan, is just keep kiting. He doesn't want to go into an all-in-all fight. If he moves into this pocket, he's going to get trapped. If he gets trapped, it's game over. To get back into the sea once you've lost is going to be very difficult. And Domino here looking like he's again not really going to be able to defend that naval lab. And there we go, the shipyard gets destroyed. It looks like Domino is going to attempt to do the same again and take out the user's shipyard. It looked like user saw it coming actually. Domino able to walk far enough back that it's not really a problem. Domino, however, at 50% health, now managing to get out. And both players basically set back to square one now. Surprisingly though, with user building an energy storage here, even though he's lost most of his energy production, his energy is going to be okay. Meanwhile, Domino has no energy whatsoever and only a max of 1,000. Meaning that user's in a lot better of a spot, well, was, until all of that energy went up in smoke. The user losing 6,000 stored energy there in that one explosion. So that was a very costly mistake for user. He did get a metal storage built though. What is he seeing, Domino? Does he think that's the commander? It does look like it might be. I think Domino thinks that might be a commander and trying to go for the win. However, it's just a pawn. And now, whether this was an intentional or not, the trap has been drawn. And user has managed to trap Domino's navy. And there's no escaping this. Domino has lost this entire navy. He could potentially split it up with the hope of trying to save some of it, but there is no way he's getting through that. There's way too much damage. And actually, doing what he's doing now is kind of bad. Because he's skirting so close to this edge here, all of these ships are going to land right next to the shore. Which is just going to enable these res bots to resurrect every single one of those ships. Now, User with only 6 ships left here is not in the strongest of position himself. And Domino seems to be desperately trying to push out pincers. These are light amphibious tanks, which will, if they don't get spotted by the destroyers, may do fairly well. I don't think Domino was necessarily prepared for the hijinks of A, this map, and B, just all of this back and forth. And that gets killed, unfortunately. Domino actually getting some of the reclaim, though, from that fight with this construction ship. Resbots, though, are already there resurrecting stuff, and now User is not only having a naval factory built, but also an air factory. And that's kind of a good call on his part, because if it was me on Domino's side, he doesn't have the energy reduction, which is the problem. But I would have said, you know, why not go air? Domino has pretty much nothing when it comes to air defense, at least at the time. And so going air might have been the play. Domino here, though, running pretty much all of this off of 3 metal extractors. He's not rebuilt any of his metal extractors. And a bit of an interesting move here. And now Domino is about to be down to a single metal extractor. And User has already moved a destroyer into line here. Those guys are not making it across the water. No way at all. All of the destroyers are making their way up here to stop this attack from happening. Even if they make it through, they're going to get shot as soon as they come out of the water. And yep, there they go. All dead. Domino trying to build up a fighter screen, but I don't know. At this point, Domino, I think you should probably just call it. He has a single metal extractor to his name. He's has no ability to get metal extractors because this is going to be killed by C, that's killed by C, all of this is killed by C. Pretty much, it seems like if you play this map, if you lose the C, you lose the game. And here comes the hero possum. Domino, you will never kill it. No, he killed the possum. Finally, it took him 30 minutes to kill the possum. I don't know, this game's over. Domino has no way of getting back into the sea, I would say. He's trying to build up some gunship. Okay, fine. If Domino can build up enough gunships to snipe User's commander, he could win. He could claw it back. I said it the other day. At the end of the day, all that matters is you kill the enemy commander. By going air, he's not using much metal production because air doesn't use much metal. But he's still using more than he has available. As you can see here, he's minus 18 with only 4 income. So he's not going to be able to build too many. He currently has 9. In fact, that may be enough. He's got a couple of fighters there as well. But his opponent has had plenty of time to prepare. Look how many of these guys there are. 15. And they are very ready to defend. Oh. Missile trucks and Janisses being prepared for an air transport rush. And the gunships do make it across as we switch back to 1 times. All these gunships need to do is kill the commander. And it's game. And they do not know where the commander is. And they definitely do not have the damage output here to stop the build power. And with that, user is safe. Domino, honestly, I don't know what else you've got that you can do. Not only that, but we've actually got air transporting units, normal full tanks here from user's base all the way to Domino. And that's it. You're dead, Domino. Trying to get that D-gun there to not kill the jammer, which he does actually manage to do. Domino actually doing pretty good here to dodge all these shots. But it ain't gonna be enough. There is literally no way he can win this. I think he's literally just trying to make it last as long as possible. And because of that, we're gonna speed it up. It lasted quite a long time, to be fair. And the Janus shot gets him.
Battle ended.
So, well, it's an interesting game, right? Because when you look at Metal produced, they were pretty close, pretty much the entire game, even with all that harass that happened. But it's the energy produced that's the big difference here. Just look how little energy Domino was producing there. There's a huge gap between them in the end. And because of that, active units is just drastically different. And from here was when they basically base traded. And you can see user just skyrocketing and just unable to really get back. Same with damaged out and damaged receive. You can see when they both basically lost their factories. And from then on, it's just kind of like no damage done to user one at all. But interesting game. I feel like Domino could have done a lot better. The play at the beginning caused them a lot of problems. But user also could have finished this game a lot sooner if he had actually built any sort of economy on its ground. But, you know, live and learn. Thank you all for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.